Alright guys, Toko here back again today. Hope you're all enjoying your Monday. Today I wanted to talk about this really interesting story that came out over the last 24 hours or so, that being Dashy, Chino and OpTic Gaming. What exactly is going on? It's very easy to look at this on the paper and think like, there's no way that Dashy's going to be the one benched off OpTic Gaming, but I think there is a legitimate opportunity that is indeed the case here. There's a couple of other options as well that we will explore, but I wanted to go through a few things from Dashy's stream that we've seen online and also from the Codcast a couple of months ago now with Enable, Nameless and Pac-Man, where they talk about this possibility that Dashy was the issue with this team and that we may see him being the one on the team that ends up getting benched if they did want to make a change. Now with the online league coming into play, maybe that's slightly less likely. Maybe it's more likely that it's just due to his situation in Canada. They're trying out Chino on the team just in case any internet issues come about due to the online league. But, you know, that's not the only option here. We have to consider the possibility that Chino is scrimming with OpTic Gaming instead of Dashy because they've decided that's for the best of the team going forwards. And I wouldn't say that's an outright, an outrageous thing to say for a couple of reasons we're going to go through. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, kind of butchered that sentence, but whatever. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below as always. I'd really appreciate hearing them on this one because very interesting topic which really has, not come about for a while, but I have talked about this in a few videos a while ago. Seems to maybe coming to fruition now. COD League yesterday, they streamed effectively a 10 series between RST's team and Accuracy's team. Accuracy's team ended up walking away with it in the end, but Miles Ross says in reply, eyes on COD socials, updates soon to the league, so keep an eye on that. Let's go into this Dashy stuff then. So he tweeted this out yesterday, backstabbed so many times I started walking backwards, he says. Now people were seeing this like, okay, what's going on here? Like, is anything actually happening with him on the team? Seemed kind of unlikely at the time, but in hindsight, maybe this was a sign. So yesterday, CDL Intel comes out with this. Chino spotted getting some scrims in with OpTic Gaming. ZooMaa did a tweet, since been deleted. That always kind of says something, right? They did a tweet, it's like a short little clip. There's like a screenshot that someone takes from it. And if you're ZooMaa here, like, why are you going to delete this at the end of the day? Because it only kind of shows a little bit more insight that potentially there's something actually going on here. So in ZooMaa's tweet, this was one of the screenshots that was able to be taken. We can see ZooMaa, Temp, Mac, Attach, and Accuracy back in the squad. So Sensor was teaming with them or scrimming with them for a little bit. Now he's back on the bench. Accuracy's back in the starting lineup, it looks like right here. Interesting situation, of course, because, is that what's going on with OpTic Gaming? They tried Doug for a little bit, just to, get some reps in with their substitutes. Now Accuracy's back, maybe Doug will come back at some point as well. Who knows what happens, right? Is that what's going on with OpTic Gaming? Definitely possible. But down at the bottom here, we can see Quavo, Kenny, JCap, TJ Halley, MJ Chino, and Slasher AL. Dashy, nowhere to be seen. So is that what's happening with New York, the same as OpTic Gaming, where they've decided to scrim with another player just for reps due to the whole COVID-19 situation, potential issues with people playing from various regions and internet issues, and who knows what could happen with the online league. Definitely New York are pretty much the only team or the first team really to try out their substitutes and have their subs playing, as we talked about last week or the week before with Douglas Sensor Martin. But seeing OpTic Gaming do it is strange, especially with Dashy being the guy swapped out. A lot of people thought if you're gonna make a change, probably gonna be JCap is the one who steps aside. However, there's probably good reasons why Dashy could be the player to move aside that we're gonna go into in just a few minutes here. So this was also another option. People were talking about how, okay, maybe he was traveling back to Canada, so he couldn't play with the team, so they got Chino in instead. That apparently is not the case. As current CDL Intel says right here, Dashy did a tweet back to the lair. That was on the 25th of March when he got back to Canada, so no reason right now why he is traveling, why he shouldn't be at a scrim with the team. CDL Network says this. Pac-Man also said something on the Codcast. Not sure if this is a more recent one than the clip I'm going to share, but this is a quick clip from Dashy's stream here where he talks about, am I benched off the team? I don't really want to say.
What's on the starting roster? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So, just wanted to set up a 3-minute clip I'm going to share from the Codcast here for Enable, Nameless and Pac-Man talking about the team. So, first of all, Enable talks about Slasher as a teamer and how Slasher's teams are either really, really good or really, really bad. And that depends on whether the players on the team are going to be willing to listen to him. He clearly says this was an issue on the 100 Thieves team last season. Jay that he refers to in this is Pharaoh that was on the 100 Thieves team early last season. They end up swapping Pharaoh out for Priester. The team gets a lot better as Enable says towards the end of the clip because they had that chemistry, and it's all about chemistry and it's all about attitude, as Enable says. And that's part of the issue. And early on in the clip, you'll hear him talk about, oh, he doesn't exactly want to say, doesn't want to give away any hints, the possibility of trading a star player with a decent following. Pretty much they're talking about Dashy. And you can hear the real key moment here. They talk about, maybe minus Dashy plus Gunless being an option towards the end of the season. Of course, Pac-Man being the general manager, not general manager, but basically the coach of that OpTic Gaming Los Angeles team. And the real telling thing, pretty much towards the end of the 3-minute clip, is what Nameless says, that Dashy and Slasher have a similar relationship right now as Pharaoh and Slasher did in previous years, effectively implying on the whole that Dashy's the one that's got to go.
This year, it's going to be super hard to make like a multiple person trade, right? Like if you're trying to we're trying to get these two people off the team, like, fuck with them. You're going to be able to trade like a star player, one who, has a good following. I'm trying to wear this girl. Okay. Listen, wait, hold on. Let me finish thought. You need to get rid of someone who is literally causing the team to be ass and causing the team to not be a team. That's my take, because you're not going to be able to get rid of multiple people. Like at the end of the day, you're just not. It's going to be so hard with all the contracts. Like, it doesn't even matter if the players want to do it. You got to go to the management, to the suit. It's like. So there's an issue in the team. It has nothing to do with the game. Like, sure, you guys suck right now, and whatever. Like, you guys aren't working well together, but it's literally an attitude thing outside of the game, in my opinion. Like, if I get on every day and I don't want to play with my team,
Dashy for
we're not gonna be good.
Dashy for Gunless at some point is gonna happen this season.
Chicago's not getting rid of Gunless.
Just saying, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, when you team with someone like Austin, right? I actually really like Austin as a teammate, even though he is probably one of the worst teammates ever in the sense of trying to get his point across to other players. So I have thick skin, right? And he can bitch at me all day and I'll just go back at him, but I'll take his criticism because that's the type of person I am. But when you put Austin around players that can't do that, example A, Jay last year, and Kenny. Kenny got a lot better though. Kenny really matured, and that's why I think he got a lot better as the year progressed. But Jay literally would just shut down. Like, if you put players around Austin who don't have thick skin and can take him bitching, because most of the time what he's saying is correct and it's for the better of the team. But when you have players that just shut down, they hate him. They're like, fuck this guy, I don't want to play for him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Like, bro, Jay was disgusting in World War II when we played with him. Our TK team was all vibes. We literally gassed him up and let him be free. Black Ops 4, obviously we weren't playing well. And Austin being Austin, which is fine, that's just who he is. But Jay couldn't handle it. Literally 3 weeks into the game, Jay's like, I fucking hate this guy. I'm not teaming with him. I can't. And then I'm talking to Jay on the side, and Austin's talking to me. I'm yo, I'm never fucking team with fucking Jay ever. This kid don't listen to me, bro. He just goes rogue.
That's how Slasher and Dashy are right now.
Just goes rogue.
That's how Slasher and Dashy are right now.
Just goes rogue.
That's how Slasher and Dashy are right now.
And then but then when we added Priesta, because Sam could take Austin for the most part. We added Priesta. Priesta never said a word. Austin says anything. Preston's okay, yeah, got it. Kept it moving. Try to improve. So you need the right players around someone like that. And it's not just Austin. There's a lot of players in the game that are like that. You know how they get their point across and their attitude toward the team. But they mean well.
So look, this isn't something which on the surface seems obvious to us from an outside perspective, right? It seems like if, Dashy's one of the biggest slayers and the team has been such a fantastic player over the last couple of years, but if there are issues with him meshing with Slasher, as there often are, as Enable talks about with a lot of players, is this the right move? Because Priesta last season comes in for Pharaoh, they get exponentially better that 100 Thieves team from getting 30 point clubs at the start of the game at the Pro League qualifier to becoming the best team in the game. And that's switching out Pharaoh, a very talented player, for Priesta, also a very talented player, but the attitude situation was clearly very different. And if Slasher can't get along with you as an individual, and you can't get along with Slasher, which definitely happens to a lot of players, and let's not pretend Dashy didn't have those kind of attitude issues, I guess, that Crimsix and Karma and TP have talked about, or Crimsix especially, really, on the OpTic Gaming team last year, turning up late to scrims, all this kind of stuff. Let's not, play down his talent and what he's brought to the table, and championships that he's managed to win. However, on this team now, with Slasher on the side, Slash is a fantastic player in my opinion. Like, he's one of the very first players I would be putting on a team. But if you don't have the attitude to go around him, the team is going to rupture, and there's no denying that right now. TJ, of course, and Kenny both on that team. TJ's managed to make it work in previous seasons, right? Rise Nation. Kenny, of course, makes it work on the 100 Thieves team last season. So those are clearly not the issue in terms of the chemistry that Nameless and co were talking about. J-Cap's obviously not going to be the issue in terms of chemistry. The only guy they're talking about there is Dashy. And if the attitude isn't there to mesh with Slasher, if you're going to get rid of one of Dashy or Slasher, to me, you're getting rid of Dashy, to be honest. Despite how good he is as a player, Slasher's a proven winner. He's done it with multiple teams over multiple different titles. Slasher's kind of the core to the team, in my opinion. And if you're going to build a team around someone, I personally am going to do it more around Slasher than I am around Dashy, just because of the proven experience, world champion caliber, all of that stuff. Despite all the talent that Dashy has on the table, in my opinion, Slasher's the guy you build as a core of your team because he's a proven champion, proven like IGL type figure. He's done it all before. He'll probably do it again when he gets a team around him that listens to him and respects him, even though he could be a very difficult teammate to get along with. Very, very interesting situation we come across right here. Is it the case that Dashy's actually been benched off their team on this team and they're playing with Chino? Interesting change, first of all. Is it going to be a good one? If we get any confirmation here and they actually do play in the league with Dashy, then we will talk about this move in, or without Dashy even, then we'll talk about this move in some more depth. But yeah, very interesting situation. Being intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Can this possibly be the move to make it work? In my opinion, I do understand it when we look from this behind the scenes perspective that Nameless is implying. From the surface, doesn't seem to make any sense, right? If you're going to make a change, surely it's going to be J-Cap, you get more slaying power in, but attitude and that kind of thing has always been the key issue with Slasher's teams. We see the Envy team in World War II, Temp on the team, Hook on the team, Slasher, Classic as well, who was a really, really good player coming off Infinite Warfare as well in that game, and look, the team is just falls flat on their face. They come top 4 at some event, but really an awful team that Team Envy team was, from what we were expecting to see from the squad. Slasher's teams are either the best or they're the worst. There's pretty much no going between it. That tends to be what happens with Slasher's squads over the years. In this situation, the team's pretty bad. Yes, okay, they had a decent result, got a little bit better at the most recent Los Angeles home series or whatever. They had a couple of decent results, but wasn't spectacular by any means. So if we're looking at this team from an attitude problem perspective, Dashy may be the issue here. So be intrigued to hear your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you are new as always. Just wanted to leave you with this from Scumpy, saying he may well be coming back to YouTube very, very soon indeed. Thanks to Colton for pointing this out to me. Thanks for watching as always. I will see you next time.